Hello everybody and welcome back to In the Meadow with Kiki. I am so happy to be here and I'm so happy you're here and welcome back to another episode. I feel like every single time that I've sat down since I started the video podcast, I've been talking about how much of a thing it's been to sit down to record. So I'm not gonna lie, it's been definitely a learning curve, learning how to just have this new setup when I'm like outside at a certain time of day. To make this work, because if it's too early it's way too hot and then any later it's too dark. So in this specific area there's like a little like golden hour like spotlight of time that I have to record. And so today was a day of just full of working on the property and just building on a couple projects that I've been working on. I've been trying to pull myself out of my office and spend a little time each week doing things around my area up here. Anyways, I have just been so excited to sit down to record with you guys, so I am so excited to be here. I was feeling so frazzled as I was getting ready to record, but I was just imagining just how excited I am to sit down with you guys and have a little chat, because I have had so many things on my mind recently that I cannot wait to dive in. So let's get into it, shall we? There's a beautiful little hummingbird sitting right in front of me right now, drinking the nectar of a flower off my cactus. Oh my god. Oh, it's so beautiful. I wish I could show you guys. Oh, I love hummingbirds so much. They're so precious. Oh, anyways. All right, so let's get into it. So the first topic of today's conversation I want to talk about is truly just how fucking scary it can be to actually go after your dreams, and how no matter how fucking scary it is, you gotta go after them. It's your job to feel the fear and do it anyway. So let's dive into that concept. So a big thing I've been thinking about recently has been just this breaking point between the moment that you are visualizing your next dream or project or creation to when you're starting to work on it. You know, you're starting to like chip away at it and like go down the path. And then comes a time that shit gets real. And you have to actually choose and make the decision that you're going to go all in. And you're actually going to be making scarier decisions, investments, big decisions, you know, that are going to alter a lot of your life. And I think that it can be so easy and breezy when we're just visualizing, when we're dreaming, we're doing our dream boards and we're journaling about it. We're making the Pinterest boards, you know, we're setting up the social media, all of those, you know, more fun, lighter end of actions that you can take towards your dreams. But then truly there comes a point where it's like, oh, like if we're going to do this, like we got to do it. We either going to launch it, create it, put it out into the world, invest in something. And I think that is, I think that's like a turning point that a lot of people will run away from because it's so fucking real and so scary. Now, a big topic of today's conversation I just want to talk to you guys about is just how important it is that you have to jump off that cliff and make it fucking happen, even when it's the scariest. And notice and recognize when those moments come up and when you feel the most scared, or when you start to feel the most doubt, or you start to feel the most fear. Because usually that shit happens like when things are getting real, when things are actually happening. And it's no coincidence that that's also the time that imposter syndrome begins to rise, self-destructive habits, self-sabotage. I think that a lot of the times whenever we really start making huge moves and making a lot of progress, it feels like our whole life starts to fall apart. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that's actually happening for you. And let me explain. I feel like it's such a aspect of when you start making big decisions. And not only that, but when you start looking at yourself and treating yourself differently, when you start to have higher standards for yourself, when you start to treat yourself differently, when you start to expect differently from different people or the people in your life, shit begins to hit the fan. Because before, you were cruising through life as it is, allowing whatever happened to happen to you, you know, and staying in a really like a comfort zone, you know, staying in an area where you feel really safe and comfortable. But when you start to go down this path of a life beyond your wildest dreams, shit will begin to crumble. But it's supposed to. It has to fall apart so that you can build it back up again. And so I think it's a really important thing to recognize, like when you are on the path and you are at these different moments of the journey, because again, the journey is a long one and there's so many little micro moments and micro decisions and experiences, it's like the resistance will come at every single part of the path. I'm not going to lie. Like from the moment that you say fuck it and start your Instagram account or record your first song or whatever it is, resistance will always be a part of it. But I think that resistance will become sneakier and show up in different ways. And I think it's so freaking important to be able to recognize what it is for what it is and not let it control or dictate the actions that you are going to take towards your dreams. So another part of this is not getting lost in the sauce. I like to call it the sauce, but truly, when it comes to these projects, like there's so many nitty-gritty details, whether it's website design or, working on this more monotonous, just like back-end business things or just shit that doesn't feel as exciting or as exhilarating per se. It is so fucking important for you to separate yourself from your tasks. And know that the moment that you start to feel stuck, the moment that you start to feel a little sticky and your energy begins to get stagnant, that means that you need to get up and do something else. You can't just be trying to nail into it harder and harder and harder when you're feeling stuck, because all you're going to get is more of that stuckness. Now, I don't mean that you should just like abandon it and like just decide to like, not do what you said that you're going to do, but rather just recognize that you might need a little space to go on a walk, to put some music in your ears, do a little jump, a little dance, a little nervous system regulation, some deep breathing, some journaling, and remember why the fuck you're doing this in the first place. You're not starting this to build websites. You're not starting this movement to do email marketing. And now I'm obviously giving examples when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, but like this happens in all, you can use a million different examples in million different industries or paths or creative experiences or creative ventures. The point is, it's so important to not get lost in the nitty-gritty details and all these tiny little steps that are going to take you to where you want to go. And especially when you're first starting out and you don't even know how to do it really well, and there's a learning curve of you needing to like acquire these new skills, it is so important to not let it suck you under. Because I know for me, I've had so many countless days this year where I felt like I was at my breaking point just doing bullshit like email marketing or, again, website building. I use the term website building because I'm actually right now building a new website to host my mother brand, The Meadow is a Portal, if you guys have heard about it so far. And anyways, it's on my mind because I've been going through these like roller coaster of emotions of like getting really excited about the website and like seeing like all this like growth and like progress and just how, oh my god, I see it's starting to get real, like it's so exciting. And then the next day I get stuck on just stupid little things that I just don't know how to deal with or fix, and it will really throw me for a loop. And like it's so easy to like feel myself getting dysregulated and feel myself really wanting to just like run away and just hide and like numb myself by like watching something or whatever because I'm getting frustrated. But I think that when I'm able to recognize what's happening, I'm able to take a step back, center myself, remember the final product of what I'm creating and why I'm doing this, and recognize that this is not my purpose. My purpose is not to be building websites. This is a little key, a little puzzle piece along that path that I need to be able to put my services and my work out into the world. But this is not what I'm doing this for. And then once the website's built, it's done. And I don't have to worry about that anymore. And the more I grow and the more my business grows, the more I can delegate tasks that don't serve me. But it is so important for you to take a step out of your little world and the shit that you're doing in order for you to get some clarity and reinvigorate your energy and excitement so that you can stay in alignment. The name of the game is realignment. Always, 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 always realign and realign and realign and find your magic again. It's a daily devotional practice to find your magic and align yourself back to the flow and back to the magic of what you are creating. I always use this example for me in my personal life, how I will often sway really dramatically from my masculine to my feminine. And I think that one of my biggest intentions in the season of my life is to really find a balance there. I think right now, I'm in a season right now that I know so clearly where I feel on fire. I feel so clear, so aligned. All of the pieces of the puzzle are just clicking together and it's all making so much sense. And I'm so grateful for all of it. But the issue is that I start to lose track of my self-care practices. I stop eating as well. My sleep schedule gets kind of fucked up because I'm like staying up all night and I'm sleeping in because I just didn't sleep enough the night before. And like, because I'm on this high of adrenaline of just like clarity and excitement because there's some weeks that it doesn't feel like that, and so it feels like I'm almost trying to like take advantage of it while it's here and not let a second go by that I can't use of that like juicy, like magical creative energy. But I remember again and again and again and again how just non-negotiable it is to always come back to tune into my feminine, because without that, I'm just like a chicken without its head running around. It's like without that constant check-in with your intuition, with your soul, with your heart, so that it can guide you along the path, that's how we get stuck in the how. And we grip on to these physical, tangible, masculine actions that we're taking. We feel that hit of inspiration, then we go so deeply into our masculine and just like go. And that's how burnout happens. That's how you start. That's how you fizzle out, and then you don't have any more effort. You don't have any more magic or energy to keep going. And so I feel like for me, what that has looked like has been adding more non-negotiables of my self-care practices. And for me, that's literally looked like the most low bar commitment. I want to be very clear that it can be very low bar commitment. It does not mean that you have to do like 3 hours of meditation every morning for you to take care of. And so for me, that means my morning rituals. I have my free magnetic morning ritual that you guys can check out in the show notes below. I love to use that one, and I customize it every single day. Some days that just looks like 10 minutes of journaling. Some days that looks like, just closing my eyes and stretching on the mat. But I have promised to set a timer for myself for 20 minutes every single morning where I have to connect with myself before I check my phone, before I go rushing off into the day. Really tuning into, how am I feeling? Where is my energy at? Like, what emotions are feeling stuck right now? If you're anything like me, mornings sometimes can be really sticky. Like, I'm such a night owl. Like, I am a night owl through and through. I wish I'd be able to muster up some more energy in the mornings. But in the mornings when I wake up, I have a lot of like fears can come up, and anxiety will come up, and a lot of like pressure of like the day ahead. And like, if I don't catch that in its tracks in the moment, the negative momentum can build throughout the rest of my day, and I can't have that. And so even though like in the moment I feel like it's a waste of time, there is no waste of time. I had my beautiful guest Sierra McDaniel on the show last week, and what she was saying really impacted me, which was waste more time, spend more time doing things that aren't necessarily productive or that are business oriented or goal oriented, and just allow yourself to exist as a human for a little bit. Even for me today, working around my property was a huge part of that. Like, I really ignore and neglect like my physical space a lot of the times, even though I'm the kind of person who loves to build and loves to create and loves to do things like that. I'm always just in this like, well, no, I don't have time. I have to be doing this. I need to be working the business. I need to be pouring myself into the podcast. And recently I've been realizing that like, life is happening right now. It's not happening in some other future reality. Like once my business is this successful or the podcast is this successful, it's like there's never going to be a pocket of life where I'm going to be like, oh, I made it. Now I can enjoy my life. Like now I can relax. That does not come. And so it's so fucking important to remember to live your life right now. Remembering to live your life in this moment, because it's happening right in front of you at every single moment. It's happening. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, but right here and right now. And so I want us all to just really sit on the idea of like, how can I just enjoy this present moment just a little bit more right now as it is right now? How can I lean into the juiciness of it? How can I lean into the magic of it? How can I be okay with everything as it is right in this moment? How can I find the grace and the beauty and the love and the joy in this now moment as it is? Even when it comes to my business, what parts of my business being where it is right now is so magical. Like this first year of my podcast, like I haven't blown the fuck up yet. And so I get to have conversations with each and every single one of you. Like anybody who messages me on Instagram, I get to have a conversation with them and talk to them and converse with them. That's not the case when, I have 1 billion followers on Instagram and like it becomes an entirely different thing. Again, I'm not like saying that I'm ready for that. Of course, I mean, it's going to be great once I do have like that quote unquote pop off or whatever. But like right now with where I'm at in my business is so fucking exciting. And like this is something I have to work with myself through sometimes, because it's like we always want to go, like we always want to be at the next step in the next place. We want to be there, farther, like better. But remembering to just focus on how fucking good it is right now, even when there's certain parts of your reality that aren't so desirable, quote unquote. Oh, the hummingbird came back. That's so fucking cute. But truly remembering just the smallest things, like just being more present with your morning tea, just being more present at dinner with your family, with your lover, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, like being right here, right now with where your feet are. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but literally right here, right now. And so, yeah, it's been a big theme of mine recently. And I recognize that whenever I do lean deeply into the more feminine, magnetic, intuitive side, which comes from the present moment, but also like it comes from just my stretching on my yoga mat, and it comes from just existing, you know, not being this like hyper productivity machine at all hours of the day, but truly just being able to recognize that like things are really good right now. Things are really fucking good, and let me just enjoy it. And again, let me be clear, of course, like we're all in a different place. We're all in a different time in our lives where there might be a lot of your reality right now that feels uncomfortable, that feels unsafe, that doesn't feel good, quote unquote. But what parts of your life as it is now can you learn to enjoy? Because the moment that we look at life with this magical lens on, where we're recognizing and seeing all the beauty and all the magic, it just expands tenfold. It gets bigger and brighter and greater, and you just find more things in your life to be grateful for. It's beautiful. It's like, it's just a never-ending well of joy if you're able to recognize that. Something else that has been really fueling me and just giving me so much life is this idea of whatever is real and true, it feels good in your body. And so that's why it feels good to visualize our most expansive and next level reality. That's why it feels good to believe in ourselves. That's why it feels good to feel loved, because those are all the things that are real. The only things that we see as otherwise is fear, lack, scarcity, separation. All of those things don't exist. They are constructed in our own mind and our own imagination. And it's just not the truth. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong. Of course, you can experience real things that feel like that. But what's real in this divine, higher consciousness sense is the things that feel good in your body. And the flow of abundance and joy and life and love that you have access to at all times, the only reason we ever feel, quote unquote, bad is because we're disconnected from that. It doesn't mean that it's gone. We're just disconnected from it. And so that's been helping me a lot when it comes to just, you know, the seasons in life where the doubt and the anxiety come up and the fear and the insecurity come up. And remembering that you're not alone. Like everyone deals with this, no matter who you are, no matter how successful you are, no matter how much you've grown or how much you've done in life. Like we all deal with those feelings of fear and anxiety, of not being good enough, of not being there enough, not being worthy enough. We're all dealing with it. Everyone. It doesn't matter what level of success or fame or money you have. Like it's a human nature aspect of us just trying to look out for the reasons in life of things of not going wrong, because it's our own egos trying to protect us. But we have to remember that we're safe and it gets to be good. We are worthy of everything that we want just because we are. Because I think a lot of the times, like, the worthiness wound comes up because we'll think like, well, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough to deserve everything that I desire. Like, how could I get this thing if I'm not showing up the way that I want to show up? You are so fucking worthy for absolutely anything, everything that you desire. And it's just up to you to recognize that. And then that is when the things will come in. I literally love to look at just the idea of just like source energy pouring through, of just this flow of life, of just being downstream of abundance and flow and alignment and synchronicity, it's always flowing. It's not about figuring out how to open the tap. You know, sometimes we try to figure out like, oh, I just need to figure out how to open it and like let it in. It's flowing. You're just not standing under it. You know, it's like, it's literally right there, but you're choosing to stay on the shore because it feels safer to do that than it does to just allow it in. So I think that it sounds like so simple and so basic, but truly, like, this is the core of all of it. It's truly the core of all of it. Genuinely, I think that it all comes down to worthiness wounds and this feeling that we don't deserve what we want. And like, that's what feels so shitty. The disconnect feels so bad because it's not true. And it feels so bad because it's what's keeping us away from everything that we want in life. You know, it sounds like such a simple example, but it's so true. It really is that it's so much more about just what we're willing to believe that we deserve. And just recognizing that now, in this moment, we're allowed to shift that energy and that frequency, and that thus lets us become an energetic match to what we desire. And another thing that the whole idea of like the worthiness wound is making me think about is about how the most gifted people in this earth, the most talented, creative artists in this world are the ones with the biggest and loudest inner critic. And the ones that are going to be the most doubtful and the most anxious and the most fearful to show up, the ones that doubt their work the most and who just don't put it out there. The most talented people that have the most to give into the world are the ones who won't show up because of this hyper, perfectionism of just having such high standards for our work. But your only job is to keep the ball rolling. Keep creating, keep putting it out there. Obviously, have a standard to yourself to like how good you want it to be, of course. Like, I'm not saying to just like throw spaghetti at the wall and just constantly be making half-ass stuff. No, I'm saying just keep devotion, like it's a devotional practice to just keep creating, keep flexing your muscle of creativity and put it out into the world. It doesn't matter. Having zero attachment to the way that it performs, how many likes it gets, how many views it gets, having zero attachment, and trust me, I know that's very fucking hard. I deal with it every single day. I'm not saying that it's easy, but to learn how to create through detachment. Create because there's something within you. There's this divine inner creative nudge that's pushing you to create something. Create something because of that. Create something because your heart is pulling you to do it. And then let it out into the world. And then you will learn lessons from that experience that's going to bring you to do better in the next one. You just got to start taking action. Keep creating. And action means putting it out there. Action doesn't mean working on something for years and then never letting it see the light of day. That's not action, because like, what's the point if it never left your imagination? You got to actually create and lower the bar to needing every single creation to be this massive, like huge, just like splash in the water of like, oh, this is going to change everything. Like, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be it. It very, very, very well might, but you got to do it with detachment. So it's this clean source of energy, of creation that's guiding you forward. And every single time that you step forward and you make this creation, you learn and you grow and you pivot and you change. And it gives you the wisdom to make the best pieces of art that you could have ever imagined to create. But that's only going to come from actually taking the action and recognizing that your imposter syndrome is actually a good sign. Your imposter syndrome is showing you that you're out on waters that you've never been before. You're out of your comfort zone. You're pushing yourself to greater heights than you have before. That is something to celebrate. When you have these moments of imposter syndrome, just know, okay, that means I'm on the right path. That means I'm doing good. If you had no imposter syndrome, I promise you that would not be a good sign, because it would mean that you're playing way too safe. You're playing way too small. You're playing just in your own little playing field that you're comfortable with, that you know, that you have your mind around. The only way that you grow and expand and go to new heights and new levels is by feeling uncomfortable and having a little bit of discomfort and having a little bit of imposter syndrome. That's okay. That is more than okay. And just trust that the more you keep chipping away at it, everything becomes clearer. but you gotta keep the ball moving. You gotta keep the momentum going. You gotta keep moving forward with your North Star, with your guiding light that's pulling you forward. And remember what I was saying earlier in the conversation is that you gotta learn how to keep realigning your energy. You gotta be able to notice, be this just wise and loving, conscious awareness of your reality of every single moment. Literally imagine yourself like a fly on the wall in the corner of the room, looking down at you and being like, this girl's looking a little cranky right now. Wonder what's going on with her. Let me dig in. Let's ask some questions. Like, did you sleep well last night? Have you had water today? Did you just have a fight with your boyfriend or your girlfriend? And that's what's like kind of riling you up? Do you need a nap? Do you need to just talk it out with somebody? Are you having a lot of fear and imposter syndrome coming up? Like, what is going on? Don't let life just happen to you mindlessly, like allowing shit to just take over your life and to seep your energy out. Like, you got to be able to be this just mature and wise and loving, positive energy that can just lovingly be aware of what's actually going on in your mind and recognize that we have these loops in our mind that we have the power to interrupt. So it's conscious awareness and redirection. I teach this in my courses, I teach this in my programs. It's conscious awareness and redirection in every single present moment. And recognize when people are triggering you. Recognize when somebody activates something within you that upsets you, that pisses you off, or that says something hurtful, or it says something that makes you feel doubtful around your creations. It's like we have to acknowledge that it's up to us to decide what energy and what we're going to be feeling. It's up to us. It's not about having every single thing in the world feel good and perfect and have everything being aligned in order for us to feel good, because it's a lost game. It's a lost battle. If you're trying to have everything in your external reality be perfect for you to feel good, you're going to lose. Because there's no way for everything in your external reality to be perfect at all times. Shit happens. You're going to be in the line of the DMV. You're going to have a fight with your friend. You're going to have an argument with somebody. You have someone say something hurtful to you one day. Now, there's a difference between letting yourself feel the full spectrum of emotions and letting the sadness or the fear or the anger move through your whole body. Truly honor those emotions. Honor them as messages to your soul that are telling you things within you that need to be healed as divine wisdom. Recognize that it's genuinely, triggers are such gold. They are the biggest little nuggets of information that we need to be able to grow. All right, I've been having some camera issues. This is a new camera, so hopefully you're not noticing these little cuts I have to make while having some technical difficulties. But let me just wrap this conversation up today with just the mindset shift that's needed to keep you going along this path. And that mindset is that your desires are your destiny. They are no accident. They are here for a divine reason. They are meant for you. The reason you have them is because a future version of you already is living in it. It's no accident. Your dreams are yours. You just got to go get them. And if you're able to acknowledge that no matter what, as long as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, they're going to come in. Not only are they going to come in better than you could have ever imagined them to be, in ways that is more divine and more magical than you could have ever imagined up in your mind. And so, as long as you know that, and as long as you're able to just be sure in that, you can move along this path in the idea of like vacation energy. My girl Catherine Zankina uses that term, and I love that term, where it's like, think about, when you go on vacation, say that you booked a trip to Turks and Caicos, and you have it all lined up. You have your hotel, you have your flight, even if you lost your flight, you have insurance, you just get on the next one. Like, it's set in stone. It's happening there. It's literally like you're about to go to your trip. And so all week, you're just fucking excited. You're like, I'm about to go to the beach. I'm about to go to the Caribbean. Like, we're going to have so much fun. Like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Let me just enjoy my day, enjoy my, walk this morning because I'm so fucking excited and I'm so ready. Like, let's do this thing. Let's go. That is the energy that we need to be in when it comes to our dreams. Because when we're in this energy of just like fear and lack and anxiety around like, oh my God, well, what if it doesn't happen? Like, what if I do all this work and nothing comes of it? You have to be so steadfast in your beliefs about yourself and what's possible for you and these dreams. And that's what's going to keep you going. when we're in this energy of like chasing means that we don't think we're gonna get it. Chasing means that we have to like try and force and just push our way up there as hard as we can because it might not be for us. And so we have to chase it. We're running after that. So it's literally in the word chase. And when we're in that energy, we are in fight or flight. We are literally, even though technically you might not think that you're dying, your ego still thinks that you're literally going to die because you're putting this like connotation of like, oh, well, if this doesn't happen, then I'm over. And the difference between chasing and attracting is that you know it's yours. You know without a shadow of a doubt that it is yours and it's your job to just walk on over and go get it. And so when we're in that attracting energy, we got to use all of our energy to magnetize, to create, to use our creativity, to use our energy to create our life and create our creations. Versus when we're in fight or flight, all of that energy is literally just in survival mode. And we are shut off. We are shut off from inspiration. We are shut off from joy and excitement. You know, we're in this like force and fear and push. And that is not the energy that we need to be in and to be manifesting, to be creating. And so just remember, your dreams are yours. You just got to go out there and get them. And remember that the name of the game is realignment. Realigning yourself again and again and again and again and again and again, as many times as you need throughout the day and the next day to keep yourself in check. Remember who the fuck you are and where you're going, and know that you're doing just fucking fine. Stay in your own lane. Stop looking around. Stop looking what they're doing or what she's doing or what he's doing or how they found success doing this or how they're on this trip doing that. Focus. Stay in your own lane. Put your head down and keep working and keep enjoying. Keep being present with all that is as it is right now. Find ways for you to be able to enjoy it right now as it is. And keep going. So I know that I started the whole conversation off with a topic that I didn't even talk too much about, but that is that the moment that you got to jump off that cliff when it feels really scary because you had to start making serious decisions, go for it. Take that leap of faith. When you're teetering on the edge, that is where the fear and the anxiety comes. But you know how you can just diffuse that fear? Just keep moving. Keep making decisions. Just stick to those decisions and keep it moving. Stop sitting in this space of doubt and like, oh, well, maybe I should do that, or maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do that, or maybe I should use that logo or that design or that font. Just fucking decide. You can pivot in the future. You can adapt. You can change. You can grow. But you got to decide, make a decision, and then move on. Of course, be intentional about it, but don't linger for months at a time trying to make the right decision, because that decision does not exist. The only right one is by taking action and actually doing something about it. Or else our visions are always going to stay in our minds, and we don't want that. We want to experience our visions. We want to have our visions. The world needs to see our visions. And so it's your job to fucking do it. And just know that, like, it's okay to feel scared. You don't have to be fearless to make decisions and go for it. You just have to have a little ounce of courage, enough courage that's going to push you over the edge so that you take that leap and you can jump. And then the moment that you take that courageous leap of faith, you get more. It's like this beautiful like feedback loop that the more you keep moving forward, the more that you keep pushing forward, the more courage and confidence comes through afterwards. So just trust. Keep moving fucking forward. You got this. You got this. Love you guys so much. Thank you guys for hanging out here with me today. I'm still getting the hang around this whole video and podcast thing. I'm loving it. I think it's incredible. But yeah, if I sound any more frazzled than I usually am, I usually don't. I usually say that on the podcast and I end up sounding fine. So yeah, I'm so excited to hang out with you guys today. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Maybe you can send it to a friend you think might enjoy it as well. And if you have not yet downloaded my free magnetic morning ritual or my now new Path to Purpose workbook, it's going to be in the show notes below. You can download them. They're great resources. I believe in them with all my heart. And yeah, I love you guys. I guess I'll talk to you later. Bye.